covering. Yeah. I'd like to call the Greater Lafourche Port Commission meeting to order for September 10th. We'll start with opening prayer. Please stand, remain standing, and prayer will be done by Mr. Commissioner Mike Colley, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by State Senator Blake Miguez. Mr. Colley.
I pledge allegiance.
Good and gracious God, thank you for the many ways you bless us. We stand before you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Be with us in our discussions and guide our decisions so we always do what is right and just in your sight. Help us to work together for your glory and the benefit of our community. Please watch over and protect us, our loved ones, and our nation. We ask these things through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Senator Miguez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. Secretary Sherman, can you do roll call?
Yes, sir. Seat A, Chucky Sherman here. Seat B, Thomas Petrie III.
Here.
Seat C, Jimmy Lafourche.
Here.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair.
Here.
Seat E, Reggie Ledet.
Here.
Seat F, Chad Colley.
Here.
Seat G, John Mellison.
Here.
Seat H, Mike Colley.
Here.
Seat I, Chris Colley.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Secretary Sherman. Next, we need a motion to approve minutes for the August 13th, 2025 and the August 28th, 2025 meetings. Need a motion. Moved by Tom Petrie.
Second.
Second by Chad Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll begin with Executive Director's report, and that'll be done by Deputy Director Davey Breaux. Mr. Breaux.
All right, just one item to report. Our Executive Director, Chet Chasson, is at the Gas Tech Conference in Milan, Italy. He's actually representing our community in Port Fourche. He did get to meet with Secretary Doug Burgess, Secretary of the Interior, and he's with Argent LNG promoting the proposed facility, LNG facility to be built in Port Fourche.
Anything else, Mr. Breaux?
That's all I have.
Any questions, anyone? Next, we'll move into Northern Expansion. Item 1, Northern Expansion, Slip D Bulkhead GIS Engineering.
Okay, Dynamic Group is the contractor on this project. It's a little over $16.5 million. They're making good progress. They've driven all the steel sheet piles. They are on the last dead man of concrete pile driving, and they are poured about 16 of the 25 dead men. We have a change order which just adds 28 weather days to the contract. The completion date will now be December 3rd, but they're still looking at the first week of November to be finished.
Thank you, Mr. Plaisance. Next, we have Airport Projects.
On the airport projects, airport operations for last month were 1,710. We had 8,844 passengers and 19,872 vehicles to visit the airport.
Next, we have Airport Connector Road and Bridge Project, Pisiola and Associates.
Yeah, Sea Level Construction's the contractor. They're not doing very much work on site as they're waiting for the machinery. The machinery progress is coming along. They're starting to put the components together. Everything is going well. It's just taking a lot of time to get the machinery together. We're still hoping that at the end of this month and into next month, they'll start shipping and we'll receive some of the machinery. So then Sea Level can start, you can see some progress at the site in Galliano.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll do the new Executive Terminal, GIS Engineering.
Okay, Byron Talbot is the contractor on this project. It's about $4.7 million. After spinning his wheels quite a bit, they finally starting to get the roof on. The roof deck is up. We expect the next 3 layers to come on in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So hopefully by y'all's September meeting, we'll have a real roof in place, and he's starting to work on the inside.
Any questions? Please remain up, Mr. Plaisance, because you can also do the airport fuel systems rehabilitation.
Okay, this project is substantially complete. Y'all are actually selling fuel. The contractor is still addressing the punch list items. Y'all have change order number 3 proposed, which will add $10,988 for some additional work around the dispensers and a couple of flow meters that will help with the fuel going to the trucks that gets delivered to the planes on the tarmac. It'll also add 11 calendar days for weather delays, which will bring the current completion date to June 8th. He was about 6 weeks behind that for hitting substantial completion, but we're working with him on additional days.
Questions? And if you can continue on with the airport hangar replacement.
Okay, Freetown Builders is the contractor on this project, about $850,000. It's getting close to the end. He's got some additional hangers for the doors that he's got to install, some additional work to be done after that. We expect him to be finished in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Substantially complete in the next 2 or 3 weeks. On this project as well, you've got a change order 2 in front of you far later on today, an additional $10,648.48 for additional concrete work around the downspouts, and additional 14 days for that work, which will extend the contract time to June 30th. Again, we expect them to be finished at the end of this month. He's be about 3 months late, and again, we expecting to have him ask for some additional days, which when we go through, we'll present to y'all. But for now, it's just 14 additional days.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Plaisance. Next, we'll move into other projects. We'll begin with breakwater repair, Angelette Design.
Okay, Rigid is the contractor on this project. They have completed all the work as of August 31st. We do have later on the agenda their substantial completion certificate for your consideration. Everything went well on the project other than the timing. They did end up being about 6 months past due on the project. So we will be addressing that at the next meeting with potential liquidated damages, weather days, and that sort of thing. But besides that, project is finished.
Questions? And if you could continue, sir, on the Fouchon Beach.
Okay, Onshore is the contractor on this project. They started work last month. You can see here the staging site that they're working on the north side of the old bridge. And I think we have one more slide that shows the actual work happening on the beach. They're making really good progress.
So that y'all started putting material on the beach itself?
Yes, the big apron you see in the middle of the picture is actually all new sand. And that's going to continue from that point going up on the page or east, and a little bit also coming back this way on the west side.
And an additional question to help the commission out and myself. So we are slurry dredging the material there, or y'all developed another way to bring material to the beach?
The material is actually being trucked from river sand from a borrow pit on the Mississippi River. That ended up being cheaper for this size project than the offshore dredge bids that we took twice on this project before.
I guess my question is, how is the sand getting to the beach? I know how you're getting it to the location.
So we're trucking it to the offloading site, which is just on the side of the public boat launch across the road. From there, it's being barged across the channel where the bridge used to be and put into offload trucks and tractors and hauled to the beach. So
Thank you. Any other questions besides me for Ms. Angelette? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move into public comment. We have Senator Blake Miguez with us today running for U.S. Senator. Mr. Miguez, if you'd like to join up and come tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Again, my name is Blake Miguez. I'm the state senator for District 22, but more importantly, I'm a 7th-generation Louisianan. My family migrated here, both on my Spanish side and my Cajun French side, in the early, mid-1700s, and my family's been on the bayou ever since. My grandfather started a shipyard in the 1960s. He started building a small 16-foot boat, and eventually the last boat that they delivered was a 185-foot-long offshore supply vessel. And those boats are still operating in the port of Fouchon today. I live in New Iberia, the city that my seventh great grandfather helped found with the other 9 Spanish families. And we have 4 beautiful children. And I'll tell you, the most exciting news about the year is we had our 50th year anniversary in the offshore marine service business. And we also had a new little baby girl just about a month ago. Red hair, blue eyes. She's fueling my passion to run for this seat. But the best news, Mr. Chairman, she takes a lot more after her mama than her daddy.
Oh, that's good news. That's good news.
A little bit more about myself. I'm a former world and national champion pistol shooter. I've competed in representing the United States across the world for the last 30 years. I've got several gold and silver medals, and I had the opportunity to showcase some of those shooting skills on a reality TV show about a decade and a half ago called Top Shot on the History Channel. But more importantly than trick shooting, I had the opportunity to tell the nation about our Cajun culture, what makes us so special in Louisiana, and be a great advocate for our state. So I announced for the United States Senate against Bill Cassidy this summer. And I can tell you that I'm the only proven MAGA conservative in this race, and momentum is building behind my campaign. In the first 13 days in office, we raised more money than every opponent in the race on individual contributions, including Senator Bill Cassidy. My money doesn't come from special interests or DC swamps. It comes from real Louisianians. And that means something. And the most important thing is that when I become the next U.S. Senator, President Trump can rely on me to be an ally full-time and to support the America First agenda. But the reason why I'm running for office for the United States Senate is because we need to preserve the American dream. One of the most selfless things that we can do as parents and grandparents is raise our children to be better than us. We want our grandchildren and our future lineage to even be better than us. And we have one of the greatest countries on the entire planet, the entire history of civilization, and it's called America. And that freedom we must fight and protect. And that's what I intend to do when I get to D.C., fight and protect the American dream and to preserve it so your children and grandchildren can live out that opportunity in their version of the American dream. It's no secret that Senator Cassidy is in a lot of trouble. He voted to impeach President Trump. He voted to convict him. He also had anti-Trump rhetoric when the president ran for re-election in 2024. He's in hot water with the people of Louisiana. Been very problematic on all the president's confirmations. And I can tell you there's no other serious candidate in this race besides me and Senator Cassidy. I'm the only candidate raising the kind of funds necessary to mount a statewide campaign to defeat Senator Cassidy. I'm the guy to get the job done. Look at my business background. Look at my conservative credentials. Look at my legislative record. I am the only candidate that can beat Senator Cassidy next year. But that's all just shiny stuff and objects and checking the box. That's not really what's important about this race. What's important about this race is trust. The president can't trust Senator Cassidy. The people of Louisiana can't trust him. And we need to send somebody up there that they can trust. I'll go back to my grandfather. How in the world did a guy who started a shipyard with a 4th grade education be so successful? And this is the main trait that he passed on to me, was trust. When he sold a boat, he shook his client's hands, he looked in his eyes, he spoke to their heart, and he promised he would deliver, and he always delivered. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in D.C. as the next U.S. Senator. I know your struggles. This place looks really nice renovated. But when Hurricane Ida was here, I was with all of you watching rain fall on our heads, and I was out there in Port Fouchon pulling my boats out the marsh, just like everybody else that was devastated in this area. My ancestors were born in the bayou. I was born in the bayou. We raise our children on the bayou. We hunt, we fish, we play on the bayou. All my ancestors, they're buried on the bayou, and when I go to D.C. and help Trump save America, I'm coming back on the bayou, and they're going to bury me here too. So if there's one thing I want you to remember today, that as your next U.S. Senator, I'm never going to forget who I am, where I came from, or the people on the bayou who sent me to be their voice in D.C. I appreciate your time here today, and I look forward to earning your support in the campaign trail, and keep my family in your prayers. God bless America.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Ms. Lorraine.
Daniel Lorraine. I'm sorry. 134 East 176. Good morning.
Morning.
Last night the council met, Lafourche Parish Council met, and I thought it would be important that I come here today and tell you guys and the public that about a month ago, we all voted to purchase the property, Briscoe and Mr. Leday's property on 3235. Well, last night we rescinded that. We rescinded by ordinance number 7050, that was the property. It's two different owners. Briscoe owns what's on top of the property. Mr. Leday owns the property. And we also rescinded 7051, which is Briscoe. So that's not gonna happen. I was told, and I asked last night, still never got an answer of which company was coming, but they said the company that was supposed to put a windmill at Fouchon dropped out, and that's the company that was coming there to locate. But they pulled out, I was told they pulled out over there, and they also pulled out here, so we're not purchasing it. Just thought I'd let you know.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Ray.
that.
It's not good news, but
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
The council keeps trying to move forward. We appreciate that, sir. Any other public comment? Next, we'll move on to committee reports, and we'll begin with Executive Committee, and members are John Mellison, Chairman, Chucky Sheremy, member, Mike Calais, and Jimmy Lafont. First, we have considered declaring the items on surplus, items that are surplus. Hey, we have a little typo here, Serena, you messing me up. And no longer needed for public purpose and ready to advertise for sale. Mr. Bro.
And this is typical, these are items that are no longer needed, we're gonna surplus sale them to the public.
I move.
Do we need a motion on this? All right, got a motion from Chucky Sheremy, second from Mike Calais. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have consider approving a short-term lease with JAD Construction for site along Slip C. Mr. Bro.
Yes, site along Slip C, this is JAD Construction. They're a company that's looking at purchasing 2 jackups that are working in the Gulf of Mexico to bring to Nigeria, along with 2 other vessels from Harvey Gulf that they're purchasing. So they need a place to do some work before they send them overseas. We worked out a minimum 2-month paid upfront lease with them, and they're waiting on the purchase agreement, but we'll have this approved and ready if they want to proceed and the agreement goes through on the purchase.
Need a motion. Moved by Chad Calais.
Second.
Second by Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last, we have consider approving the lease request from BTS Western Wear of Louisiana. Mr. Bro.
Yes, this is a boot company out of Baton Rouge, and Miss Tracy contacted us. She actually did a sales visit to a company in Fouchon, and there was a lot of interest. So they're looking at leasing a spot at the truck stop where we put the food trucks, and this would be to come in once a month with a boot truck and sell to the businesses down there. They do it in the plants along the river, and it's successful, so they want to try it here in Fouchon.
Need a motion?
Move.
Mr. Reggie Leday. Second by Mr. Jimmy Lafont. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll carry over into Permits and Waterways Committee, and we have Chris Colley, Chairman, along with members Chucky Sheremy, Chad Colley, John Mellison. Chairman Colley.
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. We'll review permits from Entergy Louisiana, Corps of Engineers, and GLPC. Entergy Louisiana LLC. Proposed construction of the Bayou Power Station. The project will include approximately 112 megawatt natural gas-fired floating power generation facility. U.S. Corps of Engineers. 2025-2026 Bayou Lafourche jetty repair. This consistency determination describes the proposed work of placing rock over the current alignment to restore the jetties to the project design grade. We anticipate that the work would begin sometime in December 2025 and take approximately 60 days to complete. Great Lafourche Port Commission. Construction of improved bulkhead stabilizing embankment of industrial waterfront site along Bayou Lafourche and East-Lip in Port Fourchon, which will require 6,170 cubic yards of fill material. Mr. President, this concludes the Permits and Waterways Committee report.
Thank you, Chairman Colley. Next, we'll move into Construction and Development Committee, and Chairman is Reggie Leday. Members are Chris Colley, Tom Petrie, John Melanson. Chairman Leday.
Good morning and thank you, Mr. President. First, we consider approving the change order number 2 from Dynamic Group for slip deep bulkhead.
And that change order would be for 28 days, and that's since the beginning of the project. We're catching up on the days before we get close to the completion of the project, and 28 days are due for rain days.
Need a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Sheramy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leday. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we consider approving DOTD Airport General Maintenance Expense Sponsorship Grant.
This is a sponsorship grant yearly that we do with DOTD and get reimbursed for lighting and spray chemicals and the like, so any kind of maintenance work, and recommendation is to approve.
Need a motion? Moved by Mike Colley, second by Chad Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on, consider approving change order number 3 from Volute for the airport fuel system.
Yeah, Volut's completing the airport fuel system. The change order for $10,988 is some requests from the port itself. We want to put some cement between those 2 cement pads to minimize maintenance in the future, as well as 2 valves were installed on the system. These valves can gauge when we fill up the fuel trucks that fill up the airplane. So it's to make sure we monitor the quantity that we're putting in the fuel trucks.
Need a
Recommendation
motion?
to approve.
Moved by Jimmy Leday.
Second.
Jimmy Leday. Reggie, we just keep giving you a name. Moved by Jimmy LaFont, second by Rodney Gisclair. Any public discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry about that, Mr. LaFont.
Next, consider approving change order number 2 from Freetown Builders for the airport hangar replacement.
Let me see if I got the right one here. I lost my hangar replace. Change order number 2. I don't see it. Freetown Builders, I have it here. Okay, the amount of that change order is $10,648.48. That's for some additional concrete work, so we can have a sidewalk on the side and have some drainage that we wanted to add, and for an additional 14 days to do that additional work. Recommendation is to approve.
Need a motion?
Move.
Moved by Chucky Sheramy, second by Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Consider approving the substantial completion certificate from Rigid Constructors for the breakwater projects.
Yeah, project is substantially complete, and so this is in order. Recommendation to approve.
Need a motion?
Move.
Moved by Chad Colley, second by Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And last, consider approving the lowest bid for the Fourchon Pavilion bulkhead.
Fourchon Pavilion bulkhead, we took bids. The bids were pretty competitive from local contractors. Low bid was Lowland Construction, $677,000, and the recommendation is to approve.
Before we move on, I'd like Mr. Pisciola to come up and tell us about this project he just bid in.
Sure. What we plan on doing is putting vinyl bulkhead behind the pavilion. It's constructed with all either composite material or aluminum material for ease of maintenance in the future. It's designed for 8 foot of water, although we anticipate we'll have 4 foot of water there. It's not intended for vessel docking. It's basically shoreline protection. We did have 8 bidders. All of the bidders were in order, and the low bidder, as Davey said, was Lowland in the amount of $677,000. Even our estimate before we started was $660,000.
And our design was based upon a lot of this, on some of the bulkheads you had witnessed in Grand Isle failing, and what were the things we did to secure that that would not happen to this particular
a lot
bulkhead?
of our discussions between Davey and I was we wanted the bulkheads that we put in Fourche and in Grand Isle are susceptible to corrosion, and they're really high maintenance issues. We've had that problem in Point Fourche too. If you use wood caps and wood whalers, they end up rotting out fairly quickly. If you use hot dip galvanized fasteners and tiebacks, those end up corroding also. So in this case, we tried to use components that are either composite or aluminum components, so we don't have that kind of issue in the future.
So what you're saying is we're saving on future costs instead of having to maintenance. This is going to be a lot more years instead of having to maintenance the years and all. I mean, with the aluminum and the galvanized and everything, with then sandblasting and all that.
Replacing boards. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't like using wood in this situation because it ends up corroding. It
Yeah.
ends up rotting
Rotting
fast.
away.
They don't make wood like they back in the day.
No. Okay. That's cool.
It's intended to be near maintenance free. You'd have to go inspect it to make sure we don't have any erosion or whatnot, but the aluminum, you should just leave it alone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
And you said this was not intended for any kind of mooring or docking. I'm assuming we're gonna have signage up noting that.
Well, I think that's the intent of the administration,
There's gonna
is
be a
not to
hole.
have vessel
Right,
docking
okay.
at this time.
All right,
The
thank you.
bulkhead is designed so we could have 8 foot of water in front of it. And not right now, if we're not gonna do any dredging on the outside other than to pick up the rocks that are
Yeah.
there. But it's gonna have about 4 foot of water when we finish. But we could go 4 feet deeper if we wanted to.
Wanted to.
No, we like our little buffer for our next door neighbors.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, Joe, with that being said, need a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Sheremy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, this concludes the Construction and Development Committee report.
Thank you, Chairman Lede. Next, we'll move into Finance Committee, and Chairman is Rodney Gisclair, and along with members Mike Calais, Tom Petrie, and John Mellison. Chairman Gisclair.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, we'll start off by consider approving payment of the August 2025 invoices and recognize expenditures over $25,000. I'll start with those expenditures. First, we have Onshore Materials LLC, $1,916,440.35. Fourche Beach Maintenance, Restoration, and Protection. Rigid Constructors LLC, $1,452,564.80. That's for Ida breakwater repairs. Next is Dynamic Group, $644,351.18 for Slip D bulkhead. GIS Engineering, $252,738.78. This is for Fourche Island, Slip D bulkhead, Bell Pass deepening, Fourche marsh creation, airport hangar building, general engineering and consulting. Next, Freetown Builders, $123,486.96. And that's for the hangar reconstruction. Next, E&L Enterprises, Inc., $118,872.94. And that is for limestone for boat launch and access road and vessel removals. Next, we have BET Construction, Inc.,
$97,352.60. That's the new Executive Terminal Building. Next, Angelette Design LLC, $91,926.56. That's for the Fourchon Breakwaters, Fourchon Beach Maintenance, Restoration and Protection, permit fees for flotation and Bayou Lafourche Corner Bulkhead. Next, we have Motorola, $65,445.90. That's for the Elwyn project. Next is Courtesy Ford, $53,391.36. That's for 2025 Ford Expedition. Next, we have Duplantis Design Group, $33,656 even for Port Fourchon Recreational and Coastal Wetlands Park. A&G Refrigeration, $27,210.68. NOAA, NOAA, $26,600 even, and that's for the NOAA Ports Program to measure tide and current. And the total of all expenditures, including those over $25,000 for last month, is $5,914,803.75. And Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we accept these expenditures.
Need a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mike Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we'll consider approval of August 2025 unaudited financial statements, which we reviewed on Monday night. So I'll make a motion that we approve that financial statement.
Looking for a second?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Reggie Leday. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have consider approving insurance renewals. And we discussed that on Monday night. It's a 1% decrease. So I'm in favor of that. So I'll make a motion that we approve the insurance renewal.
Looking for a second? Second by Mr. Tom Petrie. Any discussion?
I'll make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Just on that, we had a negative or a minus 10.07% on workers' comp. So that's our safety programs at work, keeping our workers safety.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Deputy Director. Anybody else? All right, Mr. Rodney.
Thank you.
All right, you moved on that?
I did make a motion to approve that.
All right, and looking for a second? Mr. Tom Petrie. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we have consider approving the out-of-state travel request. We have Mr. Joshua Collins, Harbor Police Sergeant, and Scott Bynum, Harbor Police Corporal, attending the National Port Partner Emergency Response Summit in San Diego, California, November 11th through the 14th. And I'll make a motion that we approve this travel request.
Need a second? Moved by Mike Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And Mr. President, that concludes the Finance Committee for today.
Before we move on, Mr. Colley, you have a question?
I abstained from, you didn't action for abstain.
All right, for the record, we need to have that, I was oversight on my part. So in the item 2 and consider approving, in item 1 and consider approving the invoices, we have one abstention, Mr. Chad Colley, and everyone else in favor. There was no opposition, motion carried, so that's for, to set the record straight for the minutes. Is that good enough, Mr. Attorney? I do apologize, Mr. Colley. You are done, sir?
Yeah, I'm done, and I thank you.
All right, getting a little lost here today. Any other business? All right, we had 2 of our commissioners attend the swearing in, and we're gonna let Mr. Petrie tell us how he represented the port at that event.
Thank you, Mr. President.
How about you pull your microphone where we can hear you, buddy?
Thank you, Mr. President. On September 2nd, myself, Commissioner Chad Cully, Director of Finance Miranda Parker, and Corporal Scott Bynum had the privilege of being on hand to witness the oath of office ceremony for LaRose native Sean Phillip George. George is the newest district judge for District E in Lafourche Parish. We wish him the very best of luck in his judgeship.
Thank you, sir. And I'm sure Mr. George will make us proud.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Any other public comment?
I move that we adjourn, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Need a second? Second by Chad Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.